Hey guys, back with some goddamn ranting and goddamn raving. So what happened, I actually recorded this video before and I had a nice conversation with one of my best friends. And he raised some good points that I would like to add to the video. So I thought I'd just record it again. So I'm going to be adding my 2 cents to the mini-holland scheme that's been going around. And before you start ranting and raving at me, ranting and raving at you about how, oh, it's another guy in his car gonna be talking badly about the cyclist people and whatever. Just listen to me, okay? Listen to me. Firstly, the good things about the mini-holland scheme is it has promoted cycling to people who may not have thought about cycling before and has made it more safe for kids and for parents to ride with their kids, or anyone to ride with a child, a minor, okay? Now, I encourage the mini-holland scheme for safety of cyclists, because I have friends who cycle, and at the end of the day, I say that they're very vulnerable, and the fact that there's a lane that they can cycle in, that's great, okay? That is great. Now, I'm going to move on to the bad things. Now, when I talk about the bad things, I'm going to be talking about majority of cyclists that I've come into contact with. I am not putting everyone in the same basket. What happens for an individual does not rule what happens to the masses, okay? So, the cyclists that I've met up with, right, they believe that the road is theirs, okay? What do I mean by that? I mean by that the rules of the road don't apply to them. So things such as traffic lights, roundabouts, signaling, hand signals, doesn't apply to them. Again, I'm talking about some cyclists. Now, the amount of times that I've nearly hit a cyclist because they've swerved into the road without any indication of what they're trying to do. The amount of times that I've seen some cyclists almost get knocked off their bike because they haven't stopped at a red light. And roundabouts. I've almost seen some accidents at roundabouts because cyclists believe it's their right of way regardless of what's happening. No, the rules of the road actually still apply to cyclists. Now, in regards to the mini-holland scheme, right? When the plans for the mini-holland scheme was being organised, right? I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall for that, because I would like to see how many individuals that were involved in that actually live in the boroughs which has a mini-holland scheme. Because I'm pretty sure that a lot of them don't live in the borough. They live outside, so they don't really care about what happens. Now, mini-holland scheme is basically the blueprints from Amsterdam, right? Holland, mini-holland, yeah? Now, the problem is mini-holland in Holland, right, has the ability to do that without actually affecting cars, because the roads are quite wide enough that there is space for pedestrians, space for the cyclists, and space for a car, right? Without anyone getting involved with anyone else, if that makes sense. So you wouldn't see a cyclist stopping a car from going about its journey, okay? However, the mini-holland scheme in the UK has interrupted the flow of traffic, right? And what has happened is there's been some roads that have been closed off. I don't see why, right? But they've forced cars to be on one route, right? One road, the main roads. And what's happening is, because the roads have become narrow, because of the cycle lanes, it's caused more congestion and more traffic. So for example, when a bus pulls in to let off passengers or pick up passengers, that's it, traffic. You're at a standstill. You can't move. You can't go around them. Whereas before, when the roads were a bit more wider, you were able to go around that bus, squeeze past. So that's a downside to this, is you've by introducing the mini-holland scheme, you've brought about more congestion and more people are sitting in traffic with their engines on, which is causing more emissions. Now, this is another thing that the mini-holland scheme was said to do, was to cut down on the emissions, which I don't see happening, because at the end of the day, for anyone to really think that we're going to get London or the UK as a nation riding bicycles to their destinations, it's kind of it's a dream, because at the end of the day, London is very much like is very much like New York. It's a very fast-paced, hectic lifestyle where people need to be at a certain place yesterday, right? So for everyone to cycle is just not functional in an everyday life scenario. Something else I would like to add is those individuals who are cycling now. It's all great and well when we have good weather. However, when you have your snow and it's pissing down with rain, are you guys actually going to cycle? Or is every one of you that's going to be cycling now, will you be cycling then? I think that you might find yourself in your car stuck in traffic with the rest of us saying, oh, why is there so much traffic? I need to be at work. I'm late. Just saying. I'm not saying this is for everyone. There will be some people that still ride, and that's fair enough. End of the day, there are some cyclists out there who believe that they are above everyone else because they cycle and they're saving the world and the planet single-handedly, and that's just not the fact. Will it cut down on the emissions and all that? It may improve it just a bit, but I don't think it's going to cut it by solving the problem. Now, end of the day, I believe that the mini-holland scheme is not there for our safety, okay? A lot of people talk about, oh yeah, but it's for the safety of the cyclists, blah, blah, blah. That's what the government wants you to think, right? And the people that's running this show wants you to think. But at the end of the day, it's nothing to do with the safety of the cyclists. It's to do with money. They got, I believe it's 30 million from the Transport of London. Now, because of the congestion, people are actually looking at public transport more, because the journey times are less, you get there quicker, you don't have to worry about, oh, well, there's going to be parking and permits and all this kind of stuff. So actually, people are actually going on the public transport more. Trains, buses maybe. So public transport is actually gaining more money. Okay? Excuse me. Also, people are taking taxis more, which means the government's getting more money. Excuse me. So, also, another thing is, I've done a video on it, is the ULEZ charge, which is the ultra low emission zone charge, which is going to be coming in, I believe it's next year, 2019, April, I believe, which will be costing £12.50 for you to drive around if your car does not meet certain emissions expectations, right? Which again is a money making scheme, because you're going to be paying that £12.50 if you can't afford to buy a new car. If you run a diesel, you're going to be paying that money anyway. And again, it's all about money making. It's all about making money. If the government was so worried about our safety, then I'm not saying that the safety of cyclists is not important. I'm not saying that one bit. However, that money could have been put to the police, could have been invested in the police, so that the crime that we're seeing today is less, because that's for our safety. Because you know what? It's all good and well you cycling, but you know what? If you're shot while you're cycling, that's just not safety. It just means that you'll be shot safely in a cycle lane. Look, this is my 2 cents. Again, I'm not saying mini-holland is a complete waste. Yes, it's made it safer for children, made it safer to encourage people to cycle. However, I do believe that the way it's been done is not great. It's not functional for commuters, for people, everyday life. And I do believe that the people who are in power that put this plan in action, they don't actually live in the boroughs that they're actually messing up, right? And in regards to the emissions, I don't believe that you're going to be saving the planet. In fact, there probably will be an increase in emissions because of the amount of traffic and the amount of congestion that people are having to sit through. And with people saying, oh yeah, we'll just cycle, again, it might not be functional for an individual. There are some people out there that might be disabled, might not be able to cycle, you know, and all these things are fine as far as I'm concerned. If you don't want to cycle, don't cycle, because not everyone is going to want to cycle, yeah, and that should be fine. So that's my 2 cents on the mini-holland scheme. Let me know your thoughts and comments in the comment section. Please like, share, subscribe, share this video with your loved ones, and I will see you in the next one.